When I first started the mentoring program, I actually didn't want to do it because I didn't know anyone and I was shy. But when Martin came, he made me feel better about myself, and he started taking me out to like the movies and museums and things, and our friendship got better. And I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful that he's my mentor.
We talk about, I was director of this, and I was called director of a homeless shelter, and all of the various accolades. We do that. David Brooks, the writer, New York Times writer, talks about the resume virtues. You know, the things in the marketplace that we look to as important. I grew up that way. I wanted to do all of that. Yet, unfortunately, it didn't necessarily bring me the fulfillment that I think I was looking for. But there's something else called those eulogy virtues he speaks about, you know, the ones that they talk about when you're lying in the casket. And although they mention your accomplishments, those virtues are a little more timeless. Faithfulness, perseverance, consistency, self-control, love, the kinds of relationships that you engaged in. Things that we obviously believe are more important, but yet we somehow focus on those resume virtues. Well, we're raising a generation, an entire young generation, who live their lives thinking about those resume virtues. Someone needs to stop the madness and say, you know, there are some things that are more than the marketplace. These men are great men, not just because of their accomplishments, but because of their character. If I could just get that across, if I could make an impact upon the young men that we see. Our program started 2 years ago when a young man named Raphael Sadante Ward was killed because of his coat. It was one of those moments that was not too uncommon, but it was one of those moments when you just stop and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And we began to take the efforts through Mark Rivera, our mentor, my mentor, who began to make a difference and set up the mentorship program. And he incorporated the likes of the great Eric Raymond Diaz, the next mayor of New York City, and Herson Cabrera, and all the people that came together and created or worked with Urban Vision. And we began to do what we do now. We began to stop looking at the problems and started looking at the people, began to make an impact. And, you know, when we say things like we're going to change the violence of the cycles of violence, these are grandiose things. And we stop and wonder, how in the world am I ever going to do it? Well, you know what? I'm going to sit here and tell you, we are going to do it. I am going to change the world. And I'm going to do it by making an impact on one life at a time. That's all it is. One life at a time. Unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way. But if there's any one lesson, it is that the quality of my life is in direct proportion to the quality of my relationships. Relationships. If you're waiting for Martin to speak, Martin is speaking now. Relationships. And it doesn't take, you know, the great masses, the things that we think about, the great accomplishments. You make an impact upon one person, and that one person makes an impact on another, and another, and another, and another. And as we come together in unison doing that, the world is changed.